Well, it is 3 floors of memorabilia and great companies that have all come together here at FanFest. I have never been here, and I'm definitely going to be coming back. Anybody who, as you just advertised where it is and what's going on, we're at 11th and 35th Street at the Javits Center, and it is crazy. I don't know how many people are going to come here in the next 3 days, but it's way past 100,000 people, I'm sure.
Wow. Talk to me about your shirt, Legends Attic, real quick. Were you a collector when you played?
Yep, definitely a collector. I used to buy cases of cards. I try and find rare ones. People are like, what are your favorite cards? Well, the favorite cards back then, when I won a Cy Young, I wanted to get a Cy Young card. Yeah. When I was being mentored by Sandy Koufax and Don Drysdale, I wanted their cards. So the guys that impacted my life and then the award that I won were really the key cards for me in my collection. So when I would come to a show like this and sign autographs, instead of taking money, I would go around to the different places and just get cards. And that would one of the things that I did for my hobby all the way back to 1968 when I was a 10-year-old, and I should have saved all those cards instead of putting them in my bike spokes.
Hey, Oro, I want to get your thoughts. The tensions between the Dodgers and the Padres, it's been simmering for really the last 2 to 3 years, really boiled over last night. From where you sit, big picture view, what do you make of this current hot rivalry between these two division rivals?
Well, as Mark knows, the complete truth might be spoken in the locker room. The complete truth is looked at on the field. From a broadcaster now compared to a pitcher when I had to protect my teammates, I probably have a slightly different opinion, and it's kind of colored with don't accentuate what's going on and let the players take care of it. And that's the biggest thing that I like what's going on. I think Major League Baseball needs to let the players take care of it. I think when the two managers get involved, they both get frustrated that their players can't take care of it on the field because of the warnings. Some of the balls, some of the pitches were actually near the head. That's when it starts to get dangerous. But as far as getting hit from the waist down or something like that, and you've got to repay the other side, that's been part of baseball culture for a long, long time. And I played for a manager named Tommy Lasorda, and Tommy never backed away from a challenge. Tommy was the kind of guy that would be on the mound, and if somebody charged it, he would run over to the opposing bench and challenge the whole bench. So we were taught a completely different way in our generation.
Talk to me about Shohei getting back on the mound, Oral. How excited are you to get a chance to see him do both again?
Yeah, before he signed with the Angels, the Dodgers took me on a scouting trip over there, and I think it was more of a PR trip to let Shohei know that the Dodgers are very interested. So we were over there for a week following him around. We all kind of knew he was probably going to need Tommy John, but we got to see one side work other than the hitting that we got to see. And when I watched his side work, it was one of the top 5 sliders I've ever seen in my life. And we knew he was at about 80% with his elbow. So now that you've watched him pitch at the big league level and he's coming back with the Dodgers, I think the only thing that we're watching, other than all the excitement of a great talented guy taking the mound, is the equation between the risk and reward of getting the pitch, but the risk of losing his bat. Yeah. So the Dodgers are being very, very careful that as we add workload to Shohei, that they keep him as healthy as possible. But this guy is a magnificent pitcher, could probably win a Cy Young as a pitcher, and already has done the MVP stuff with the bat.
Well, Oro, I grew up as a collector as well, and this looks like the place to be this weekend. As you said, the crowd is already building, and you can tell, because it's coming through the microphone, it is loud and it is bustling, yes?
Yeah, it's amazing. We are here because of our great relationship at Legends Attic with Fanatics. We're also here because we have a great relationship with Topps, and those two companies do a lot of things together. But we have 3 booths here. Legends Attic is a big thing. We've had our 1-year anniversary. We're located in Claremont, California, and it's more than just a store. We have like a museum. We took over a decorator's facility that she had some trouble, so we have a beautiful bookcase, beautiful desks, beautiful displays, and people come to our store and they say, why don't don't you charge admission? We'd say our relationship is with the fans and bringing back memories, bringing back you those goosebump moments for you when you met an athlete, when you were at a game and it made an impact on your life. So we want you to just enjoy it. If you end up buying something, great. But if not, this is really from my heart and my partners' hearts that we want to take our 3 large collections, put them in the store. Some of the things are for sale and some of the things aren't. We've got a Freddie Freeman painting here where Joe Davis signed it with his saying.
Oh,
and,
that's great.
And Freddie signed it. It's life-size with Freddie with his arm in the air. And then we've got some Jackie Robinson stuff. We've got stuff that we own that we've donated to museums, in the baseball museum with Vinny, in the Negro Museum in Kansas City. We have a painting with Martin Luther King and Jackie and Nuke and Campy around the table praying.
Wow.
It's called Grace. So we're trying to connect fans back to all the memories that we had when we were little boys and girls, and also then the current generation. So we're really excited to be part of this Fanatics Fan Fest.
Well, enjoy the weekend, Oral. We appreciate you giving us a little time, and
sure.
Have fun this weekend. Thank you again.
All right, tell Mark to keep breaking those hitters down. He knows a lot about hitting.
Yeah, because I didn't know how to do it. I had to listen to everybody.
That's the great Oral Hershiser joining us from Fanatics Fest in New York City.
Risky. It's not risky. It's safe. It's the opposite.
Exactly.
It's vanilla ice cream to the City of Angels on Thursday, except nobody was acting angelic. Everyone was up to mischief. Xander Bogaerts
Outside the stadium either.
all San Diego. Robert said it perfectly. This was the 7th game they played over the last 11 days against each other, so they had just
they were sick of
about enough. Jake Cronenworth, a 900 OPS with runners in scoring position. Fernando Tatis Jr., top of the 9th. Jack Little just got to the big leagues, up and in. And Tatis said he didn't feel like it was intentional. Mike Schilt comes out,
We'll talk about it.
not happy.
Hey,
Bench is
Roberts
clear.
gave him a little bump right there. I'm throwing hands.
This is the final
Hey,
straw.
Doc. Meet me underneath.
I think that's what they were saying to each other.
How many times did you say that in your career? Did you say that, those words?
Tim Salmon beat the living you-know-what out of me at the bottom of a pile. So, look, I'm 0 for 1 in big league skirmishes. Minor league skirmishes, 1-0.
That's right. Believe it. So I think
Skirmishes or
everyone knows what's happening here. Should Shohei have hit here?
Okay, come on now.
It's 5-2 in the 9th. The game's not over.
It's easy to wake up today and say you shouldn't have.
Sure. And he doesn't even feel it because he's AI, right? He doesn't feel pain.
But did you see him? Did you see him shake?
Yeah, he's like, just stay there. Let's stop the nonsense. Dalton rushing up.
Skirmish. Is that a word?
No.
Okay. I'll Google it.
Padres win. Schilt on the madness.
Whether it was or it wasn't, enough is enough. You know, we got a guy that's getting x-rays right now. It's one of the best players in the game, of course, on our team. And this guy's has taken shots. And after a while, I'm not going to take it. And I'm not going to take it on behalf of Toddy. I'm not going to take it on behalf of our team, intentional or unintentional. It's really that simple. That's how this game's played. And you want to call that old school, then yeah, we'll play old school baseball. X-ray was negative, but it's not in a good place. You know, you mess with people's careers. You mess with people's seasons.
I think that anyone understands that there was no intent there. And even by my reaction, I didn't feel good about Tatis. And so as he comes out and he's yelling at me and staring me down, that bothers me. Because, to be quite frank, that's the last thing I wanted. This is a right-handed pitcher going across court to hit Shohei up and in. That's a hard throw. And I don't know how many left-hand hitters Suarez has hit with the fastball, but clearly there was intent behind it.
Well, this tweet here from AJ Cassavell, who covers the team for MLB.com, about Fernando Tatis. The initial x-rays on his right hand were negative. There is some inflammation. Obviously, he's going to undergo additional imaging a little bit later today. So the team's awaiting those results. And then this tweet from Alden Gonzalez, who covers baseball for ESPN. After the game, Manny Machado said the Dodgers better, quote, pray that scans on Fernando Tatis Jr.'s left hand come back negative. Oh. They better put out a candle.
That's a good quote.
That is a good quote.
My dad used to go up to the church all the time and light a candle.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was very sick one time, and my sweet grandmother did some sort of thing with egg. She rubbed an egg.
Some sort of thing, or loved you?
Well, both, but she did an egg over me, and then she cracked the egg and put it underneath the bed, so maybe that's what they need to do.
That's why you're still living.
And then they put onions in your shoes.
That's a Lebanese thing. We put onions in our socks when we're sick, and it absorbs
What do you
the
make of what we saw from these teams during the 4-game set?
All right, obviously these two teams don't like each other. Do I think there was any intent to hit Fernando Tatis in that moment? No.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this. I'm not going to... He's trying to execute a pitch up. Listen, they pitch in. The Dodgers have pitched in. Mike Schilt talked about this in his post-game presser. But he also said that the Dodgers have hit Tatis 5 times. Whether it's intentional or unintentional, you have to protect your big boys. That's the way it's gone down. That one, for me, got away. You have a young guy making a debut. They're chasing high velocity. I'm telling you, I watched a game on a nightly basis. These pitchers are trained different than when I came up.
How so?
They're not looking to... This was 100% intentional. And for Ohtani, and for people to wake up this morning and say he shouldn't have hit that moment in a 5-2 game, I think that's easy Monday morning quarterbacking.
Sure.
Unless your bench coach comes up there and goes, do we really... lose the battle, win the war in this thing. I don't think Dave Roberts was even in the dugout at that point.
Thinking of that in that situation.
It's crazy. So I would say this. You talk about guys chasing high velocity. They're not after location. How many pitchers do we have come over here, tell you they go to a new place and they say, hey, just set up down the middle and let your stuff eat? That's what everyone's chasing at the lower levels. I see it at the youth level. So to think a young guy's going to come in and just be dotting fastballs in, and we used to always say if you can't locate in, you shouldn't be pitching in, but that's a hitter's mentality. I'll say this. In 2006, I got into a bean brawl with the Angels. I was with the Texas Rangers. Scott Feldman had been called up to the big leagues. He's making his big league debut. You can Google it. He comes out, Buck Showalter hands him the ball and says, do not hit anyone, Scott. Turns and walks away, and Scott looks at us and goes, I'm drilling the first guy. Like I have to announce my presence with authority. And what did we do on the team bus when he got on? It was a getaway day?
Yes.
We started chanting, Feldman.
Feldman.
And when, listen, people don't like it. Now it needs to end. Once the bench is clear, now it needs to end. Enough's enough.
Yeah.
I got it. But it's everyone protecting everyone, and I just hope that Tatis is okay.
Yes.
It's not ending. 8 batters hit by pitches in 4 games.
Well, they do not play again until August. And when they play again in August, they will then play again 7 more times in the span of 10 days. So you're right. This
and
is
maybe
not
October.
Over. And maybe October. Please give that
Wouldn't
to us.
that be something?
In October.
Welcome to MLB Now, the show for the thinking fan, presented by Cheerios. I'm the guy that keeps taking Robert Flores' parking spot, along here with John Heyman, Thad Levine, and Jake Peavy. And glad to have you guys all here today. I didn't take your parking spot, at least. And give us a sense. You were at Rickwood yesterday. The East-West Classic, what was it like being down there?
Tremendous. Last year, Rickwood game around Willie's passing was as special as anything I've ever been a part of in the game of baseball. For MLB to continue to do good work in the community that Willie Mays was grown up in, big commemorative day yesterday with his field in his neighborhood, the boys playing. Andrew Jones, Prince Fielder don't look like they've missed a beat, Steve. Had Dusty Baker down there as well, as you guys know, on the show yesterday. Great time for baseball. Kudos to Major League Baseball and the good work they continue to do.
And good to have Thad here again. 2 GMs on the panel today. Sorry, guys, but we're going to steal the show. All right. Talking about the Padres and the Dodgers. What a day. We also have Buster Posey on today, the San Francisco Giants president of baseball operations. But we will start with the Dodgers and Padres. More bad blood between these two teams. A 5-0 game in the 9th inning. Jack Little, making his Major League debut, hits Fernando Tatis Jr. in the hand. Bench is clear. Dave Roberts and Mike Schilt go at it. A war of words, more a little pushing and shoving, but not much else going on with all of it. But both having their say as Tatis gets escorted off the field. Then bottom half of the inning, Robert Suarez hits Shohei Ohtani. Star for star, it seems. Ohtani tries to de-escalate, telling his guys, don't worry, stay in the dugout, and shaking hands with Luis Arraez. After the game, Mike Schilt manager for the San Diego Padres, had this to say about the events.
Whether it was or it wasn't, enough is enough. You know, we got a guy that's getting x-rays right now. It's one of the best players in the game. And after a while, I'm not going to take it. And I'm not going to take it on behalf of Toddy. I'm not going to take it on behalf of our team, intentional or unintentional. Call that old school, then yeah, we'll play old school baseball. X-ray was negative, but it's not in a good place. You know, you mess with people's careers.
I think that anyone understands that there was no intent there. And even by my reaction, I didn't feel good about Tatis. And so as he comes out and he's yelling at me and staring me down, that bothers me, because to be quite frank, that's the last thing I want. That's a hard throw, and I don't know how many left-hand hitters Suarez has hit with the fastball, but clearly there was intent behind it.
They need to set a little candle up for Toddy tomorrow, and hope that he's everything comes back negative. So that's not a good spot to go here.
You hear the voice of Manny Machado right there, and lighting a candle for Tatis, hoping that he's not hurt so it doesn't be an issue that continues to linger. So we've got some bad blood, no question about it. By the way, 100-mile-per-hour pitch that hit Ohtani in the shoulder, his pitching shoulder, oh, by the way. And so, we've got stars getting hit. Tatis hit 3 times in the 7 games of the series. He's been hit 5 times between last year and this year by the Dodgers themselves, 6 times in his career. What's going on with this situation?
I think Dave Roberts is right with the intent. I think there's some intent on the Ohtani and the Vasquez, but I think it's been warranted. You cannot have guys hit with fastballs, period. And like Mike Shields said, intent or not, you can't hit a guy 3 times in an 8-game period when it's the best guys and not think that you're going to have some guys have to wear it. Look, I didn't like the Suarez ball being up. I think it got the elbow pad. But again, when that starts to happen, you start getting control of your guys going, hey, pitching in's one thing, but you can't pitch in at the expense of hurting other guys.
I couldn't agree more. I think intent is secondary here. You mentioned it. He's been hit 5 times, 4 times by fastballs. And anytime you hit a guy of the star caliber of Ohtani, it's going to get attention. I think that's what's happening here. Star players getting hurt is bad for baseball.
It is, and yet, here we are, and they went back and forth, and there was no action taken by the umpires in a way that could stop this dead in its tracks.
That is true. In the up to no good game, I am always of a believer that everybody is up to no good. The thrower, the pusher, the talkers at the end of the game. That's human nature. We're not a good people. Let's be fair about this.
I will say makes me feel horrible about humanity.
You guys watched it. You guys understand. I will say this about Suarez. He obviously did it on purpose, and he declined comment. I'll give him a little credit. I usually don't like people declining comment, but it's better than lying, and we all know that he was up to no good there. As I said, he was one of many up to no good, but at least he didn't lie about it, so I give him credit there. I understand that it's a star for a star, an eye for an eye. Ohtani is on a different level. We can't hit Ohtani. You just can't. He is a phenomenon. I was just out there for a week. They are filled. It is exciting from pitch 1 to the end of the game. Everybody stays in L.A., so you know it's a big deal. Just can't do it for the good of the game. Find another star to hit. That's not the guy to hit.
Yeah, in my view, too, I would want to get the first strike offender. Not the rules now go after the retaliation. I want the first strike offender to be disciplined. That way, the team that got hit feels like there's some justice that they've gotten, and they don't have to now retaliate and go after somebody else. So we'll see with it.